Hey, thanks for joining me. Today's episode of Beyond Business is brought to you by Aerial Elite Solutions, your Midwest leader in drone-based thermal inspection, aerial data collection, and aerial imagery. Whether it's solar fields, power lines, construction projects, or real estate, we provide high-quality imaging and data to keep your operations running smoothly. Visit flyaes.com to learn more. Midwest Lightning Rods. When it comes to protecting your home or business from lightning strikes, trust the experts. They've got the installation and expertise to safeguard what matters most. Head over to lightningstrikes-weprotect.com for details. This episode is fueled by Best Friends Distillery, a local woman-owned distillery crafting fine vodka and rum right here in Argenta, Illinois. Raise a glass to quality spirits made with passion. Cheers to supporting local. Now let's dive into today's sit down.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in this affair. Beyond Business, come take a seat. Join the conversation, it's a journey that's sweet. Life lessons learned and laughter from the heart. With every episode, we're making a start.
Well, today on Beyond Business, I'm joined by a powerhouse in entrepreneurship, leadership, and education, someone who's made an impact not just here in Decatur, but across the country and even internationally. She's the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship at Millikan University, a role that she recently returned to after serving in national leadership as president of the CEO of the U.S. Association for Small Business and Entrepreneurship. She's a champion for experimental learning and a driving force behind helping students turn ideas into action through Millikan's performance learning model. Her career spans everything from startup consulting to global entrepreneurship education. She's also the founder of Global Experimental Opportunities Group, helping educators and entrepreneurs build skills that truly matter in today's world. She serves on the board of the Society for Arts Entrepreneurship Education, blending creativity with commerce, and she's a firm believer in mindfulness, balance, and the power of showing up authentically. As a leader, a mentor, and a mom of four, I'm honored to welcome to the show Julianne Shields. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
For sure. Yeah. I wouldn't have even came close. I would have been like, hey, here's a lady I just met, and we'll see what she's doing. That's how I roll. No, but it's a pleasure to get down and just sit down and get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
So let's start. I do know that you went to University of Illinois. You also went to Millikan. Where'd you go to high school? Are you local?
Springfield High, so
Okay.
not too far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
So
Senators.
what type? There you go. What kind of student were you in high school?
Athlete for the most part. Yeah. I played all the sports. Pretty into softball though. That was kind of my main sport. So. But I was a good student. I was at AP classes, did all of that. So I was a nerd, but also an athlete.
Nerd.
So yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's actually the perfect makeup these days. When I see someone, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
I have one of them right now, actually.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
What sports or what?
He's a 15-year-old at St. T. He's going to be a sophomore.
Okay.
As a freshman, he started soccer varsity, started baseball varsity. Matter of fact, got the Rookie of the Year award for St. T for being the most starts as a freshman ever in their history.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Rock on.
Yeah. And they suck. So I'm not,
There is always that little contextual.
I'm
around.
like, I don't want her to go look him up and be like, he's okay. No, he and I have that same understanding. It's like, I mean, I'm a baseball guy, so that's kind of, I coached, we were on Forsyth Fire, a team when we were kids, little kids. And then kind of split off, and I actually started an organization called Midwest Rampage. We had like 2 or 3 age groups, and it was kind of just Decatur didn't have a travel ball program.
Yeah.
And so we did that for a few years. And then when they got to like 13, 14, I find out that moving forward, in order to go to college showcase tournaments, you can't just be a dude who started a club.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, we kind of had the conversation. And it was really neat though, because they were 13U was the last time we coached them. So they were all they had one more year and then they were going into high school.
Yeah.
And it was like sitting there going, if we did our job, then all of you guys will go start varsity as freshmen.
Yeah.
And a lot of them really did. So that was like,
great. Yeah. Rock on.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it worked.
Cool.
Yeah. But again, it's not like a bunch of awesome baseball, but it's just kids that tried hard and it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So I've got a baseball story.
Let's go.
All right. So, again, I grew up in Springfield.
Yeah.
Back in the day, there was, so this is going back a few years, I was the only girl in the boys league, and I played baseball, not softball back then.
Because there wasn't an option, or because you just played baseball?
Well, maybe a little bit of both. It was early on in like the whole girls softball movement. Like I'm older than I probably look. And but I was the only girl in the boys league.
Okay.
At period. And I mean, it was the last one chosen in the entire league for a team. I like it was that kind of situation, right? And I was tiny, and just the whole thing. So I started like playing outfield part-time, sitting the bench most of the time. And then I got to play second base one year. I'm like, this is really great. My dad really wanted me to be a pitcher. I have no accuracy or control whatsoever. So, but then I got to be the catcher one year. And I was like, yeah, I'm involved with every play, right?
Yes.
I felt really good about this. Yeah. I'm still the only girl. So,
how old are we talking?
We're talking like at this point, like 9. Okay. Still little. And, so this one game early in the season, super early in the season, we were playing this third team, and this huge kid rounds third base. And they got me the ball from the outfield, and my dad like recounts this story. He's like, oh, I could just see, he's going to slam into you and you're gonna be dead. I'm going to lose my daughter. This is going to be a bad situation.
Yes.
So just not out of any skill, but just self-preservation, I get down like really low, and I hold the mid out in front of me with the ball in it, and the kid just flips over me. He's out, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, pretty cool. Well,
you're like, that's not the end of the story.
Next inning, I think he was the coach's son, the opposing team's son, coach's son. Coach calls the umpire out there when I go back out to warm up the pitcher. And the coach is over there talking. The opposing team coach is talking to the ump.
Sure.
Then they call my coach over.
And you're going.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is the longest warm up.
What are we doing?
Ever, right? But I'm like, that's fine. Again, just happy to be in every play, right? I'm just happy. And the coach comes over, and he had this way of like taking his hat off and scratching his head and putting his hat back on. He starts to talk to me, and he can't say it. Then he calls my dad over, and I'm like, oh, what is going on? He's like, so the rules state that the catcher has to wear protection. And my dad's looking at me, and I've got all the gear on. He's like,
Oh, wow. No way.
Yeah. So, and my dad's like, but she is. And then he kind of caught on, and then I started to catch on because I have an older brother.
Sure.
And the coach was like, no, protection. And they were trying to disqualify me from catching.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't have all the equipment. Right?
That's insane.
Yeah. So they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, give me the cup. I'm like,
let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this. So I played the whole season, right? Yeah. And there was a backup catcher.
Those are uncomfortable, right?
I mean, I'm like, whatever, right? Now they actually have female ones, I think, but not then. That was not a thing. So there was a backup catcher. His name was Byron. So at the end of the season, it was super hot. It's like in August, and there was a doubleheader. We were making up for something else. And the coach decides to give me a break from being have all the equipment on. So he sends me out to first base, puts Byron in as the backup catcher. And so I'm warming up the infield. The coach comes over, takes his hat off, scratches his head, puts his hat back on. He's like, can Byron borrow your cup?
Oh, no.
And that was like it, right? I'm like, I'm done. Like, let's find me a softball team to play on after this. So,
well, first of all, that's like the most coward way to get. I hate that bush league stuff. Or you know what I mean? It's like, hey, don't get beat. And then, so I learned quick. Well, I just went to school with a lot of girls who were dominant athletes. Well, no, not a lot, but a couple.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like as a junior dating a freshman who she went on, ended up having a full ride to pitch and play volleyball into Florida.
Nice. Yeah.
But anyway, I remember then and like meeting the dad and him being like, yeah, you catch, huh? Well, we're getting ready to do some workouts out here. And I'm like, for sure. I got that was like, it's a whole nother level, man.
Right.
So I developed that respect early.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a few years ago, maybe like 10 or 11. So from like 9 to like, I think even now, 14 or 15, you play in these tournaments because we play travel ball out of Springfield. Actually, we play for it. Yeah. And if you, so at the end of the game or tournament or your first 3 games of pool play, at the end of the game as the coach, you get to give the opposing team player you think did the best an invitation to the GMB All-Star game at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Solely based on, like, you don't get to give it to your own kids. The other coach picks who did great in this game. And so my son got that a couple times, and we had went down there. And it is cool. I mean, it's nothing but it's the home run derby. It's pop time. It's bubblegum blowing contest and a huge baseball tournament. Well,
cool.
We get there and the first pitcher on my son's team, first inning out, has a long ponytail coming out of the back of her hat.
Yeah.
And my son's, and I don't know. He's not really like, he doesn't really pass judgment. He's not one of them. But you could definitely see him go, hey, what? And I go, I kind of also don't know because I know softball is amazing.
Yeah.
Softball's funner to watch. I'll watch the College World Series of Women's Softball all day over a baseball game. For sure. But anyway, that she pitched 1 inning.
Yeah.
And it took 11 pitches. And it was like, okay, led off our team, cracked the ball. It was like that went out the window. Boom. Like literally by that afternoon, it was like, one of the guys, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And they are all so young that it's not like it would necessarily be anything else, but it was like,
that's cool.
When you come and handle your business.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you're going to be the girl who plays football or the girl who wrestles, then you better be able to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which that's kind of, I don't really have a take on it, but it seems like everything has to be available for everyone. And I think sometimes that when we were growing up, if you went to the wrong school, you didn't get to golf or fish or play tennis. It was like, no, we got, you're a dude who wants to play volleyball. That sucks.
Yeah.
Open gym.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
I think it's hairy times because everybody, there's a pick. There's always a pick. Yeah.
Yep.
To where it's like, well, maybe there's just not enough money and people to have teams. Well, you see now around here, I don't know how much you pay attention like to our high schools around here, but they co-op on everything.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's a resources, right? I mean, that at the end of the day, human resources, capital and finances. I mean, you do the best you can with what you got.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
I remember getting asked, I don't know if I should say that. Yeah, I'll say it. I remember getting asked where we were Our Lady of Lourdes, non-Catholic. We just lived in Decatur.
Yeah.
His mom and my son's mom and I, we've been split up, but we both live in Decatur. And so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, my son was the only junior high kid that wanted to play baseball.
Oh, okay.
The only kid.
Wow.
And so after the first year, after 6th grade year happened, it was a 7th and 8th grade team, but he went over and just dominated. And he's tiny, so it was hilarious, actually. Because, so 7th grade came, and athletic director, I guess that's his role at Lourdes, was like, hey, we got to pay. We got to chip in. If you send 1 kid or 10 kids, you got to basically cut a check from here to here for a couple grand.
Wow.
For the coach's salary, basically.
Okay.
So if LSA could get a kid from Holy Family, a kid from St. Pat's, and a kid from Lourdes, they essentially make
make money.
Money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that sucks, whatever. And he goes, I mean, are you dead set on him? And I'm like, are you dead set on charging me $5,000 for him to go to school?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, where it was like, I don't think he meant it really anyway, but it was like, man, it would really save. And I'm like, how about you get some of these other kids to play baseball?
Oh, that's another option too, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
It's just interesting as you go through it to go, hey, what is going on here?
Yeah, to kind of understand the business model behind it all, right? Sure.
Well, in private school, that is a huge,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
As a parent, as the one cutting the check, you expect the best of everything. And it's going, oh, yeah, but your other parents is what's paying for this.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly
tough.
right. Yeah.
But I don't know. We're happy with the education all around. And it's, half of it is just being blessed with a kid who cares.
Yeah, for sure.
I was rough.
Yeah.
I was a good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't care about great. So I had twin sisters, 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So it's like they graduated high school. I went into
Yeah,
it.
sure.
They graduated. They got their own apartment together. And my
Yeah.
parents were like, we did it. We freaking did it. There's no babies running around.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's good.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, so I'm good. I can just, do I get
Free
the
pass.
upstairs
Yeah.
now? Right. But either way, I think, it's just cool.
That's cool.
So when you got out of college, so you go to U of I.
Yeah.
And then you go to Millikan for your master's?
Well, it wasn't one than the other. So I went to University of Illinois, studied classical archaeology,
Okay.
which that's how you get a real job. Just kidding.
Wow.
But
like
yeah.
dinosaur bones?
No. So that would be paleontology.
Oh, yeah.
Archaeology is just kind of the civilization, study of civilization,
Gotcha.
right? So not even anthropology, which is more like people, but this is more like buildings and structures and how cities come together and all of that. So that's what I studied. There is a story behind that, but we won't necessarily go into that. But that's what I was passionate about from the time I could start reading, that and volcanoes. So it was like I could be a volcanologist or an archaeologist. But when I graduated, I was thinking about going to law school, but I graduated early in the semester, a semester early. So I had to wait.
Sure.
So I got a job working as a technology headhunter, a recruiter.
Okay.
And the reason I got that is because my dad, again, roughly the same time, 8, 9 years old, was like, you kids have to learn how to computer, program. You have to do this. And I hated it, but I knew how to do it. I knew the language. I knew what an operating system was. I knew what a language was. I knew what a database was. I knew how they all worked together.
He was onto something.
He was, yeah, absolutely. So he taught us that. And then after graduation, I got to make a little money before I go to law school. Started out as a technical recruiter, started making more money than I was going to spend going to law school. And I'm like, why was I going to law school again? So I spent the first about 13 or 14 years or so in the technology industry, but more on the HR side.
Gotcha.
So ended up, what brought me here to Decatur was NIMS Associates. So Bruce NIMS and that consulting firm. I actually helped launch the Chicago branch of that, and then moved down here to focus on retention rather than recruiting. So that's why I'm in Decatur.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but after, so I got my undergraduate degree in 96 and I didn't get my MBA until 2013. So I had a lifetime between those two. Yeah.
You had a career in there.
A bunch of careers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I guess what makes you go, all right, I did this, done that. Now let's go back to school.
Yeah. So I didn't get a job that I really wanted, and I only had a bachelor's degree. And I knew I could have done that job and done it better than the other people that were finalists. And
Sure.
I was a finalist. There were like 30 people that applied for it, and there were down to 3 finalists. And I'm like, man, the person who got it, nice person, but didn't have the muscle, didn't have the zhuzh, the energy to do it. And it came down to the fact that she had a PhD and I just had a bachelor's degree. And I literally was like, I'm never going to let a credential, come in the way of something that I know I'm the best person for that job. So I went back and I got my MBA, paid for it myself. Nobody paid for it for me. And Then once I got it, Millikan was like, hey, do you want to come work for us? Do you want to come do this? Sharon Alpe was my mentor. I had done some other projects for her, and she's like, come be a part of the Center for Entrepreneurship. And that was my first tour of duty at Milliken.
Well, how cool.
Yeah.
And you were there for
7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
What I know the position's name, but
Yeah.
what are you doing? I mean, and I know what entrepreneurs are, but
Yeah.
what is a function of
The Center for
the
Entrepreneurship.
Center for Entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's kind of a special kind of place within the university, and not just Milliken University, but almost any university, because a Center for Entrepreneurship is kind of this nexus of student activity, faculty activity,
Okay.
community activity, and businesses, right? So it's kind of this great nexus of like throw everything in there. And it's all about these collisions that happen among all the parties involved. So we have classes that we teach. We also have organizations like the Milliken Decatur Executive Association, which we're relaunching. So that's a little plug.
Okay.
We've got about 23 businesses already signed up, and we're looking for about another 20 or so to sign up.
And what do they have to be?
It's professional development for companies. So I'm going to throw out a couple like big thumbs up to the early adopters.
Sure.
Like Brinkotter is signed up. We've got Peerless Cleaners is signed up, Consociate. So it's businesses that have some employees. And it used to be, it was just the top executive who would kind of be part of this organization. But that's not how businesses really run anymore, right? It's really more kind of some of the decisions are divested out to the C-suite and others who are really decision makers. And so we have a different model for it now as we're relaunching it. And so it's the top exec and then those people who can really impact the success and the competitiveness of the organization. So it's professional development. We've got 3 different sessions registered for this year. We've got the first one is on retention and talent acquisition, especially you've got 2 different factors happening. You've got the different age ranges and generations that kind of come to play.
Sure.
There's different strategies with each one of those, but then also this hybrid versus in-person versus, you've got different modalities of how people engage. So we're going to talk about all of that. So we've got somebody from LinkedIn, like the talent person from LinkedIn coming in, and then some other folks. So that's the first one. The next one is going to be on quantum computing, something so that we can kind of think ahead 10 years. What should our businesses be thinking about when it comes to cybersecurity and quantum computing? So that one will be the second professional development session. The last one will be AI strategies that work. So it's not the productivity stuff. We've got some really great productivity programs in the center, but this one's more at the strategy level. Like what are the basics that you need to have? And then what do you need to be doing for forward thinking?
Okay. So you have 20 some businesses involved. You'd like to get 20 more.
Yeah.
And this is for them. I mean, this is like minds coming together to help each other overcome, or are you teaching them, or are you all teaching students, or what is going on?
Yeah, so we're bringing, for this particular program, we're bringing experts in from outside. Okay. So this is individuals who, are experts in this area who are helping build up what we've got here. We can talk with each other and learn a lot of things from each other, but a lot of times it's like, no, we need somebody who can see much farther out than what we can. So that's what the organization does.
That's awesome. Or even to be able to know that, I mean, to be able to network with a lot of people, that's very powerful, very good, but it's still limited.
That's right.
To who's in the room with you.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I mean, yeah. Are you familiar with the high school programs they called
CEO? Love them.
What a freaking amazing idea.
Yeah.
Blake, I know Blake.
Yeah, Blake Reynolds. Yeah.
So he was, matter of fact, shout out Blake for that new baby.
That's right.
You don't need time or money. Keep having them. You're fine. But no, what a cool thing. Which it's amazing because when I graduated high school in 96, and I've said this 100 times on the show, I feel like, but we were told to, if you weren't smart like you and had an idea of what you wanted to do, we were kind of just told, well, just go to college, right?
Yeah.
And then by the time your associates is done, which you don't need to pick anything special, just go. Yeah. And within 2 years, you'll know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then do that. And then don't worry about the money. Well, you'll be home a year before you have to pay that back.
Right.
And so it was just...
It was different then.
It was different.
Yeah.
But that was also when, if your dad had a job at Wagner's or Mueller or it was like score, that's great.
Yeah.
And now people are, I don't want that job. I don't want to work like that.
Right. It's tough.
It's just different times.
Different times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed paychecks used to be, there's a lot of people, it's hard for them to get out of that now.
Yeah.
Like I know guys, that, you know, because we all got kids that are in their 20s and grandkids and all that stuff. And it's like, stop talking your kids into taking this secure job when they're 20 that they can have forever. It's like, no, go work 5 careers and then decide. I don't know.
I think you're right on point. I mean, so one of the things that I've noticed with this like Gen Z, Gen Alpha kind of thing that we're having now.
Is that what it is?
Gen Alpha is the next one that's coming through. Yeah. The risk tolerance is very different than the millennial generation, right? And it's the risk tolerance is much lower. And they believe quite strongly in not putting all of their eggs in one basket. So you're right on point, right? It's have the side gig or the side hustle that maybe engage more of your interest and passion, or is money that make money while you're sleeping. Like they're learning how to do this.
Yes.
But also they have to pay back student loans. So they've got the secure job that is just a job, not a career. Right. And so they're flexing with that a little bit. And I think it's really fascinating to watch that.
Briefly, I caught myself like being the old guy and just kind of hating on everything. You know what I mean? Like you have to,
it happens.
Reps pays off. You got to put in the work. And then I'm going, shit, I work 80 hours a week. This guy works 20 and does better than me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sure.
What am I doing wrong?
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess so that leads me into something, which I'm not even using this right now. How much do you utilize actual OpenAI ChatGPT? Do you
daily, almost hourly?
How important do you think that is?
Super important.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Super important.
So 100% of the people who have sat across this table from me and I go, or whatever, and I've said, what do you think about AI? It's like, oh, I'm not techie. I'm not then. I'm just going, well,
it's here. It's coming.
AI is not coming to take our jobs, right?
Nope.
But they will increase the value of me by me times AI.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I have matter of fact, I'm surprised that the thing doesn't go, hey, how many things do you want in this queue?
That's right.
I mean, I'm telling you, it is.
It's interesting because it's really only limited by our creativity to use it.
Yes.
Right. Like that's the gig about it. So, an example of a way that I used it, and I'm so fortunate over the past few years. I've been around some amazing educators who are like pushing the envelope with how to infuse AI into learning. So I went to Colombia, Bogota, in May, and I was teaching a class that was, or a module.
What I know that was just going to happen.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Teaching a module to individuals who primarily spoke Spanish and very few spoke English. And again, I was kind of questioning the individual who signed me up to be in the faculty. I'm like, why am I here?
Do you speak Spanish?
I mean, nada. Right. That's about it. That's
Fair
right.
enough.
So, but it's more about the knowledge that you bring. And so he's like, we'll have, interpreters and translators. So just, come and be a part of this.
Okay.
All right. Well, what I did is figured I was going to for the module primarily do an experiential exercise where they would talk amongst themselves and kind of, because they weren't children, they were adults.
Sure.
They have these great experiences they can share. So there's a lot of peer learning that can happen. But what I did was I talked to Claude. I use Claude.
Okay.
So Claude is like my boyfriend, right?
Okay.
He's actually better than a boyfriend because he's always there. He always responds.
I'm telling you, man. I was sitting there talking to my girl last night.
Right. Yeah. So, I told Claude, these are the directions that I want, that I would just naturally share. And I was like, can you please translate these into English that can most easily then be translated into Spanish?
Genius.
All right.
It's crazy.
So it did that. And then I took that transcript and I read it into a camera video. and then took that video and put it into 11 Labs. Now, 11 Labs is like a dubbing, it's a video transcription kind of AI product. And then I asked 11 Labs to then take that 2.5 minute video and translate it into Spanish. So it took a total of, 90 seconds to translate my video into Spanish.
Yeah.
And I asked the instructor, I'm like, or the facilitator, does this work? And he's like, there's 2 little spots where that's probably me.
Oh, okay. No, I'm going, what's going on? There might be that's fine.
Spam.
Same. I just grabbed my pocket because I'm like, something's coming.
Now that's an AI tool we can figure out how to eliminate, right? So anyway, so that's how we did it. And it was a really cool way of being able to meet the students where they're at.
Yes.
And if you think about the power of that, you can, basically train or educate people all over the world and not necessarily need to know the language.
Yes.
Right. So it's just a different model. So so that's an example of how to use AI in a very different kind of way.
Well, I think the difficult part is understanding how to use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even because most people, they treat it kind of like an Alexa.
Yeah.
Or an encyclopedia or a dictionary or a weather report where it's like, oh, no.
Yeah. I've heard this really great example. It's words, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So it humanizes the digital experience. And here's the example of that. So when we talk about Google, we have learned how to put as much of what we want into one line. As far as, okay, I want to leave this word out. We really try to have the most, we have a filtered view, kind of very parsimonious kind of request of Google.
Sure.
And then it gives us all of these responses, and then we have to sift through and find out which one's the best one. Right. So it's actually training us how to use it. Google is.
Sure.
Right. So we are having to modify. Right. It's like we have to figure out how to use it best. And it's trial and error. Well, AI is the reverse. Right. So it is learning from us and what we are saying. So I credit Kelly Hernandez, who's a nonprofit consultant with this, because she did a great job of just throwing us in the deep end with this. I actually talk to Claude more than I type in. When we type, we are filtering, putting things in actual sentences. AI doesn't need full sentences. Okay.
And you can cut it off.
That's
mid-thought.
Right. Exactly.
Still transcribed at the end.
Exactly. So, talk to it, and it learns all those nuances are helpful to it. And then you can refine and refine and refine. And that's one of the big, I think, questions that I have gotten from people. It's like, well, I asked it this and it came back with bad results. I'm like, well, then tell it it's not right.
That's right.
Fix it. Tell it to fix it. Like it's just like if you said something incorrect, to be like, maybe it's a little bit. So you're like, oh, okay, great. Thanks for informing me.
Yeah.
So it is. You're exactly right. It's learning how to use it differently and treating it like a companion. Truly.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's like. Well, AI can't think. I go, well, what's thinking actually? Is it just recalling from a big library in your brain?
Right.
That's kind of what it does. Their library's just bigger.
Yeah.
So it's. If I said the dude's name, you would know it. He's one of the $30 billion guys with ChatGPT. I watched a podcast with him, and he is very good at talking to regular people. Yeah. Dumb it down, to say the least. I guess
Sure.
And that's what he goes. If you can imagine, and his encouragement was just going, do not let yourself fall in the category of going, it's me versus AI, and I'm going to try to figure out how to come out on top, or you're going to be unemployed.
That's right.
You're going to be asking AI where you can get housing.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to go how you want.
That's right.
Well, he said an intern with a PhD in everything.
Yeah.
It knows everything except for you.
That's right. Yeah.
And he went into even going, over the next, he does it now, but he's like over the next, 6 months, 12 months, and it's progressing very quickly. Where most things that are for ChatGPT or what is Google's called?
Gemini.
Good one too. That you'll be able to essentially sync up your emails and even your finances and and I think that's what is crazy is if you tell it about you,
Yeah.
your financial situation, your
Yeah.
dreams, your ambitions,
Absolutely.
your setbacks. You know what I mean? Like, and you said
Absolutely.
you can do it talking.
Yeah.
I do it.
Absolutely.
I will literally just spend 10 minutes driving, telling this thing about me.
Yeah.
So it can help me make decisions
Yeah.
about me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as of last year, the thing that students were using AI for the most, people think, oh, they're cheating. No, what they were actually using AI for the most in college was dating advice.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they weren't sure how to use it for classes. And some of them were banned from using it from classes, right? So it's like, do I use it? Do I not? And some teachers still are that way. And that's a prerogative. It's a place they are right now.
Sure.
But students were like, and it actually gives really good advice for dating. It's what your
advice
parents,
and everything. Right?
Yeah, it's like what your parents would tell you, but it probably uses language that's more appropriate for that child or that student or that person. So it was like,
note to self.
Cool.
I need to have a different conversation. I forgot about that part of life.
Well, a lot are talking about using it as a therapist, and that's not great. I mean, it'll give you advice, but even it'll tell you need to see a therapist if it's X, Y, or Z, right? So there's really good, but it's good to just like, I'm having a hard time. What should I think about this?
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it because I do kind of put it in the category. Yeah. The more you tell it about you, it can essentially kind of be your therapist because it learns what you need.
Yeah. It's
you know what I mean?
Didn't we talk about this already?
Right. That's great on dating advice. Well, so I had ran into, because of this, I had Billy Reebok on here.
I love Billy. Yeah.
And so after that, the winery is my once a week. I go to the winery, get a burger from Joe.
Yeah.
I haven't got the burger. I'm on this diet, so I haven't got that, but I still will stop in and see him. Well, I walked in a week ago, maybe, and he had just watched the one with Billy Reebok, and he goes, "Hey, there's a couple Milliken football players right there." I'm like, I'm on them.
There you go.
So I go down and I start chatting. Well, next thing you know, we're talking about AI and all this. And, and one of the dudes in, like what I was expecting them to say they cheated their way through school.
Right.
I hate to say, I probably would have been one of them. Thank God I don't have one of them.
Right.
But his thing was me getting 3 different versions of this paper and reading through it made me learn a lot more than if I just wrote it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because that's what I even go, how can I can ask it the same question 3 times in a row and it's going to change up.
That's right.
So I don't even, it is tough. Right. But so I ask my son, why don't you cheat?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what about test time?
Yeah.
Okay. No, good answer.
We're going to
go with that.
That's right.
Yeah. And just be prepared at all times. And then.
That's right. Well, and it's interesting because, I think as educators, we need to think a little differently about the assignments that we give to students so that maybe instead of what if students use AI to cheat, it's more like they have to use AI to pass. So it's a
How about
very
we should
different,
encourage them to use AI to accomplish. Matter of fact, ask ChatGPT what assignment you should give.
Yeah.
It is really that.
You can totally do that. Yeah.
It's what it's going to be.
Right.
It's going to have to be.
Yeah.
But.
So one of the things that we're doing at Milliken this year is with the Provost Office and the Center for Entrepreneurship is we're actually bringing in an expert, and we have a faculty fellowship for AI and infusing AI into your classroom. So 20 different faculty members are going to get a little bit of money and some that's not money to play with buying subscriptions for different AI products.
Sure.
That then they can explore how to infuse AI into their classrooms in unique and interesting ways. So Milliken's kind of I'm not going to say on the forefront of that, but we're taking an aggressive stance with here's how we're going to try to figure out how to do this. Because we don't want it to take over the creative sphere. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
There are things that are not appropriate or not maybe essential for AI to do, but then there's so much that we do need to train our students to do with AI. So yeah, and I'm not the expert on that. Our faculty are amazing, wonderful people, and they will figure out how to do that. So
yeah, well, I think we're just getting past that point where it's like choose one side or the other. It's like no, that's not what we're doing.
Right?
Stop.
Right. Yeah.
It could. I mean, I'm not. I don't. There's no part of me that says, oh, it's impossible that this could be really scary and crazy one day. But for now, we're
Yeah. There's a really good video that somebody shared with me. There's artificial general intelligence.
Yes.
So that's going to be what they think about 3 to 5 years out. So
Yep.
it'll be like kind of artificial general as it's learning from us, eventually be like, okay, we're pretty much capped off
Yep.
with, it's kind of very Star Trek-y, right?
It is.
But then the next level of that is artificial super intelligence. And that becomes a little bit unique because it's like we identify problems and then we are querying AI to help solve those problems. But artificial super intelligence is basically, it's identifying problems before they even happen and address them so that we don't have to. And you think about, how does that motivate humans at that point, right? Like that's like
what we do.
We have to think, right? Like we have
We're
to
the
really
proactive
think
ones,
about
right.
what is our value proposition to the existence become, and it will become something.
Yes.
But it's like we can't imagine that yet. But it's kind of cool.
Well, and that's what I keep referring back to my kid just because he's the one I kind of bounce stuff off of as with a young mind, and that's what I'm like. He and I were having a conversation and I go, you have no idea. You're in an age where you have no idea what it's like to just go, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, what do you think? I actually never heard of it. Don't know. Me neither. All right. New subject. No, it's not even an option.
Right. That's exactly right.
Like, let me go. My family was the one who got tricked into buying a thing of encyclodias like in 89. So the whole
100%.
neighborhood came and borrowed whatever letter.
Colliers. Yeah, for sure.
So, but just to go, you can, but in the same token, the next 4 or 5 like multi-billion-dollar businesses on the forefront are all AI companies.
Yeah.
To where I look at my son and go, dude, whatever you're thinking, just figure out what do you want to do other than go to school. I of course, education is key, but along the way, it's like, pay attention, man.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely,
everybody that we buy everything from and operate off everything dropped out of college. And I don't want that to happen to mine, but it's not necessary for everyone.
That's right. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. It's the difference between carbon-based, like we're still very carbon-based. AI is electron-based, right? So carbon-based isn't going away. Right. It's not. It's there's a safety to that. And there's also there's not as many carbon-based, and I'm thinking, plumbers, this kind of, right? That will always be there. Beautician. My mom was a beautician, right? Hair's always going to grow. So, not always. Sorry.
Right.
But there's always those things that are kind of recession proof, right?
Sure.
And that's part of it. Then there's this whole electron economy, which will go through some ebbs and flows, but has some really dramatic kind of options. So,
Well, and you can't knock a company for wanting to cut out on human injury, human error, human
headaches.
Yeah, I was going to say something way worse. Good cutoff. Just
saying.
Yeah, but so it sucks that you got 100 people on this assembly line, and now next year robots are going to do their job. It's like, well, yeah, that is what's happening. So that's why this isn't the day to go, can I get a job at Rivian when I'm 18 and maybe I can work there till I'm 50 and then I'll retire? And then it's like, no, you don't get pension. That's not a thing. So what do you do?
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting. So when you left Milliken after the first round, you went and it was a pretty big position.
Yeah.
President and CEO of United
States Association for Small Business and Entrepreneurship. So it's not a policy-based organization. It kind of sounds like it is. It's an organization that supports entrepreneurship educators throughout the United States. So basically what I was doing before, but just all throughout the U.S. And there's a lot of things that were kind of going on in that genre. One is that many universities were really leaning heavily on their entrepreneurship programs for advancement and alumni development, that kind of thing, right? Because that's where who names the buildings? It's the entrepreneurs, right? So it's that kind of thing. Right. So that is kind of going on. And then also this whole thing that's coming with the cliff. So in 2008, there was a financial crisis, fewer people born in the United States and in some other countries, but not all, clearly not all. And they're now going to, that blip is now entering college, right?
Yeah.
So enrollments of a certain classification of early freshmen are kind of going down across the U.S. We were seeing that about once every 2 weeks, a university was closing, and usually there would be small nonprofits or state systems that had like small campuses and were compressing. So that's something that was kind of going on, and yeah, so we were just kind of combating some of those type of things. But entrepreneurship education is all about experiential exercise. So a long time ago, it was, are entrepreneurs born or made? And it used to be, well, they're born, because, there's this kind of like Elon Musk kind of notion, right? Yeah.
It's them wheels, man.
Right.
I don't disagree, but go ahead.
Well, and it's interesting because, they seem to come from families, right? There's kind of this family thing, but the reality is we learn about almost everything is learned or has a very much of a learning component, and they're learning it around the kitchen table at a young age, right? If conversation is about how do you decrease expenses or hire people or, think about competition or edge somebody else out.
Right.
Those are conversations around the kitchen table that kids are learning, and it becomes part of their vernacular, part of how they think about the world and how they process the world. So it might seem like they're born, not made, but they're being made around the kitchen table.
Right.
So colleges started looking at how do we create more entrepreneurs and kind of create kitchen table kind of atmospheres in these classrooms, and that's through experiential learning. So.
Now you know way better than I do, but I look like the CEO program in high school.
Perfect example.
Okay. And the entrepreneur classes in colleges is, to my take on that is, instead of you saving and dumping a bunch of money into something you can't really do, you just have an idea. This is where you weed yourself out. This is where you decide this isn't for me, or
that's
it
right.
is. But you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
So you're saying at Millikan or all colleges, I didn't know this, there's actually, you can sign up for entrepreneur classes?
In most cases now, yes. It was not the case when we were going through college.
No.
That was not a thing.
Wasn't being an entrepreneur almost like, like
an asterisk by it.
Like are you? Yes. Yeah. Are you self-proclaimed?
Right.
And almost like, are you crazy? I just said I could get you on at 8 a.m.
Right. Correct.
You're going to start.
Correct. Oh my gosh. The amount of times my lovely father has said, why don't you just get a job at Caterpillar? I'm like, great company, not for me.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. But I have family. My brother-in-law, he's been with power companies forever, power trading.
Yeah.
And that's what he goes, dude, I don't get it. I cannot wait till my 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on it and I'm going to do nothing. And I'm like, I can't imagine that. I've never had a 9 to 5 though. I've never punched a clock. I've never, and I can't imagine it. Although sometimes I imagine it and would love it.
We all entrepreneurs do.
I could get off at 5:30 and do nothing with my brain.
It's amazing.
Sounds great. Cocktails. No.
Yes. So yes, entrepreneurship is something. I think there's 2,000 or so different programs in colleges throughout the U.S.
So you go from Millikan to where you're the head of the program at Millikan for entrepreneurs, right? And then when you left, you went and became the head of,
like, an advocate for
the people. Okay, and then so what obstacles I'm sure it had to be huge obstacles going from, okay, I got this kind of pretty good on this level to let me deal with hundreds of schools or thousands or.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I took that job I started that job March 9th, 2020. Do you remember that week?
Yep. I did.
When the world closed down.
Yeah.
So that job immediately changed into, they brought me on to change it from a once a year kind of conference organization to a year-round value proposition. And that was one of the main things. And also to professionalize the structure of the organization, and to change a couple other smaller pieces. But immediately I had to change the organization. We had.
So had you already had did you already had the job, or that came with the COVID thing?
That it was, I had accepted the job, and then 3 weeks later is when I started, like the week that COVID shut everything down. Funny story, actually. So I was the chair of the organization at the time, worked for the University of Southern.
Let me interrupt this episode real quick for a sponsor plug. This episode of Beyond Business is brought to you by Aerial Elite Solutions, your Midwest leader in drone-based thermal inspection, aerial data collection, and aerial imagery. Whether it's solar fields, power lines, construction projects, or real estate, we provide high-quality imaging and data to keep your operations running smoothly. Visit flyaes.com to learn more. Beyond Business is also sponsored by Midwest Lightning Rods. When it comes to protecting your home or business from the dangers of lightning strikes, trust the experts. They've got the installers and expertise to safeguard what matters most. Head over to lightningstrikes-weprotect.com for more details. There's also a 15% off residential lightning protection installation up until December 1st of this year. So if you're interested, contact them now. Tell them you heard this ad and tell them Beyond Business said, give me my 15% off, and you're going to get it. This episode is fueled by Best Friends Distillery, a local woman-owned distillery crafting fine wine and rum right here in town. Raise a glass to quality spirits made with passion, and cheers to supporting local. Now let's get back into it.
Shut everything down. Funny story, actually. So I was the chair of the organization at the time, worked for the University of Southern California, so USC. So March 9th, I was on a plane out to USC and was meeting with her. And she's like, we've got this mandatory training that we've got to go do as faculty. Would you mind just coming with me so I don't have to make it up? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And it's Southern California, gorgeous.
Sure.
Students walking around, these red umbrellas. Everyone's happy, like you're just happy because the weather is gorgeous.
Just like the postcard or TV show or commercial.
It's beautiful, right? So we kind of all, as faculty, they were filing into this big like MBA style classroom, and like venerable professors with their 3-piece tweed suits on and, silver hair, and 2 IT guys down in front. And they're like, okay, everybody. So we're going to go over Zoom. You're going to be required to teach with it. And like the venerable professors were like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? So they were literally hearing for the first time, you are going to be expected to teach remotely.
And here's what that means.
Yeah. And I sat back and I'm like, I looked at Jill and I was like, oh,
you're like, this is glad I came to this.
I'm like, the job I took is not the job I'm going to get to do.
Right.
Right. And this is like a whole different context. So,
because the world shifts.
The world is shifting. But here's the advantages of that though. I still had to transition to a year-round value proposition. I didn't have to train everybody in the organization, everybody who was a member of the organization. I didn't have to train them on Zoom. Their universities were training them on Zoom.
Oh.
So we were able to do these virtual programs and everything. And all we had to do was come up with the topics. We didn't have to convince anybody to use Zoom. They knew they had to use Zoom. They knew how to use it.
They knew.
So there were advantages to it. So I did that. I did that for 4.5 or almost 5 years, and I got pretty burned out. And then I got to
burned out with the travel or just with the gig.
No, I love travel.
Okay.
Burned out with the gig, and I really felt I went to this conference for deans with the accrediting body for business school deans. And the conversations were very different. U.S. deans versus international deans.
Uh-huh.
U.S. deans were worried about this enrollment cliff, the kids that weren't going to be able to start. And how do we manage that? And budgets were crunched and compressed. And how do we spend money and that we don't have? And the international deans were like, we have more than enough students. We don't have enough space. And we have more than enough money to do stuff with.
Right.
And so I came back and I'm like, we need to be thinking internationally, but US is in the title.
Yeah.
And so it was really difficult. And we also didn't have a lot of infrastructure for doing international stuff. And it was like, my heart is in international travel and
I feel like I'm hitting a wall here with what I can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
So love the organization. The new president CEO is amazing, and love it. We're still part of it. Still support it.
So did you come back? Are you now at the exact same role that you had?
I am in the same role, completely different context.
Okay.
It's a different university really now, right? I mean, it's still Millikan.
5 years later.
Yeah. Because COVID happened. Different leadership entirely.
Well, entrepreneurship shifted rapidly.
Yeah, it did.
With COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
What do you think? So what do you think COVID with it having such an effect on, I guess now us, I don't know if it's now just more acceptable. You know what? People became entrepreneurs during COVID. So it kind of made it so, man, that I know of.
It's true.
I know someone who their daughter was making like, and this ain't a lot, but like 20 grand she made living at her parents' house making earrings.
Yes.
And so it's just like,
yes.
And she figured out through that, like, wait, this isn't a hustle. This is a business. And since then has kind of grew. And it's like, hey.
Absolutely.
I mean.
Absolutely. And those lessons of starting something, launching something, and having some level of success, deciding whether you want to grow or not, like those are all things that she'll be able to apply in different contexts as she grows and develops, right?
Right.
Almost all businesses want entrepreneurial thinkers, whether you are a manager or on the line, right? They want people who are solving problems.
Yes.
And that's an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes. Yeah. That's really cool. So you're involved with the Society of Art for Arts Entrepreneurship Education.
Yeah.
How do arts blend with business, or is that is that actually? Am I reading that right?
It's a whole thing, yeah. So Millikan itself, of course, we have huge arts programs at Millikan, right? And so the entrepreneurship program at Millikan, I know we've had kind of this business context as we've been talking about it, kind of this frame of business, but entrepreneurship at Millikan really started in the arts.
I thought it used to be a performing arts school, is it?
It still very much has a lot of arts,
okay.
Absolutely. Music, theater, dance, it's visual arts, absolutely.
Yeah.
So at Millikan, we really started to teach entrepreneurship to artists through something called student-run ventures. So the Blue Connection is the retail art gallery that's downtown. That's been around, I think, since 2002, 2003. There's also different, the record label that's been around that long or even longer. There's Arts Cafe, which is kind of a venue space, Pipe Dream Studio Theater, which is a student-run theater. So we are teaching entrepreneurship competencies through student-run ventures. So they don't have to be the whole thing. They can learn pieces of the entrepreneurial mindset through these different businesses that are actually classes, credit-bearing classes with faculty. But it's not your typical classroom. These are completely different kind of spaces that students are running.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And do you help create this idea? I mean, is that...
So Sharon Alpe was the one that really spearheaded. Well, she would say she borrowed it from Beloit or one of these other universities, but we brought it here to Millikan. She brought it here to Millikan, and then it expanded. And then when I took over as when she retired and I took over as a center director, it really expanded out.
Right.
Then where we had like 15 different student-run ventures. So...
Okay, so you leave here, you go do where was like home office home probably, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Everybody's office was at home. But
I actually was so privileged that I got to work out of the BLDD downtown.
Oh yeah.
I got to work out of their office. Yeah. And they are, just a shout out to them. They were home, and I still have such a warm feeling in my heart for them. They were pretty great. So yeah.
So what made you go, I guess, leave Millikan to go be able to touch some stuff you wanted globally, definitely around the country.
Yeah.
And so I have to only assume that you probably could have stepped down from there and went to work anywhere. What makes you keep a foot here?
I did start a global consulting firm. That's a global experiential opportunities group. So I did start that. And so that's always kind of going. Yeah. So, and I still have some projects that I'm working on with little ones. But why here? My parents are still in Springfield. They are getting of an age where I like to be able to advocate for them. And so I actually live in Springfield, even though I work here. So, yeah.
So let's talk about that global experiential opportunities group. Yeah. It's a very cool name.
Yeah.
I can't say it, but that's a cool name.
Group, yeah.
So what sparked that? Just you wanting to be able to work globally?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was getting approached and asked, hey, can you help me with this project in Australia? Can you help me with this project in Sri Lanka? And it was like, yes. And here's a container through which I can do that.
Oh.
Yeah. I will say, after coming back to Milliken, most of my time is spent working on Milliken things.
Right.
So yeah, and I'm very pleased to be able to do that. So
yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So you're a mom of 4.
Yes.
And you are a leader in some pretty high demand roles.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like that's new.
No.
You've kind of always managed to do that. So was there a trick, or was it like, no, it's just how I get down? Like what was a lot of people will go, well, I'm stuck doing whatever. I had a kid young and now I just got to do, you know what I mean? Where it's like, well, that's not the case at all. You can.
It's really, it's complicated. Like many things, it's complicated, right? So, my kids, 25, my daughter's 25, absolute rock star. I've got twin 21-year-old boys that, absolutely influence my, how I view education because they're so different.
From each other or
from each
just,
other.
Oh, okay.
So different.
Yeah.
So to get them to do the same thing, I have to ask 2 completely different ways. So if you think about like, what a classroom is like to get students
You're like, I got it in the kitchen right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then going to be 13-year-old boy who has Noah, who's got Down syndrome. So I've got a lot of different things. So that it's been very informative. It's very.
How old your youngest? Did you say?
He's going to be 13 next month.
Okay.
Yeah. So teenager. Oh. So how did I do it all? So, it's interesting. With the older 3, their father, who's since passed away, was able to be with them at home, and so I could focus more on work. So it was great. He was there. We were separated, but he was there to take care of them, and that was lovely after work.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Important dynamic.
Important dynamic, absolutely. And you honor that, right? Yeah. It's like I'm able to focus on this and do the thing because of that. So honor that. Same type of thing. This is terrible with my second husband, who I'm separated from as well. But he's really great with Noah, and his parents are really great with Noah. I travel a lot. I traveled about 80 days this year so far, and about 100 last year.
Right.
So would not be able to do that without his support, and I honor that as well.
Yeah.
So.
You can just tell me I'm not answering any more of this shit if you want to. But
I mean, it is what it is.
So what do you think that, you didn't stay with your husbands because of your demand on you and your life?
I totally see what you're saying. The first,
I didn't mean, did you choose a career over them? I just mean, sometimes it's hard to, I'm single because no one can handle my schedule.
Right.
I mean, it is.
Sure,
it's like, I know you think I'm avoiding you. I'm really just avoiding everything other than what I have to do.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So I would say the first one had nothing to do with career whatsoever. That was a completely different situation entirely.
Sure.
And the second one, I think we just kind of grew apart, right?
Yeah.
Like he's more wants to stay at home, and I'm more like my world's out there. And but again, he's got a great job too. He does amazing things. And to me, we lived out on a farm, and the ambient level of energy it took to do farm and his career and my career and everything was just a lot.
Yeah.
And the older kids were all getting ready to leave, and it was just like, we gotta make some changes here. So yeah.
Well. Yeah, you got to do whatever you got to do, right?
And just be respectful. I mean, that's the big thing, right? I mean, not a lot of drama, just more practical and pragmatic. And maybe that's my problem. I don't know, but I like being pragmatic about things. So,
well, I'll tell you what, and it's more so nowadays, but you are intimidating to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean,
you're maybe
good looking, you're successful, you're well spoken, you're smart, you've done your thing. That to some people, that's a
Probably.
Not probably, it definitely is. But there's just, it's great to see there's more of you that exists now to where, you know what I mean? For years, it was almost like, oh, here we go. Where it's like, oh no, you guys better know it. These women are way smarter than us.
we took the cup back when we were in Little League.
Yeah, exactly. You're not shitting. That is exactly right. No, I got my mom, she was a business owner for years. My sisters are dynamite. So I've been around women while me and my dad are going, so I guess we're cooking dinner. Fair enough. Let's get it. And I'm okay with it.
You honor that, right? Honor that. I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Do you deal directly with college, like one-on-one or whatever? Like you are. I teach. Like teaching them.
Yeah, I teach. There's some classes that I love teaching. Business creation and team dynamics are some like founding teams are great classes. Getting excited that I will teach one business creation class this fall. I'm super excited. I've asked for the athletes. I'm like, give me the athletes. Yeah. So mostly because a lot of them like to start by using that as an excuse why they're so busy. And I'm like, no, you're talking to one. I'm like, it's an advantage. Lead with that as an advantage. Don't lead with it as an excuse. So
you're talking about being an athlete,
and being a student, right? I mean, like it's an advantage. It's a privilege. Yeah. So lead with it as an advantage, not a excuse. So yes, I love business creation. And then in the spring, I'm going to be teaching a social entrepreneurship class where we will go on the spring break and immersion to Sri Lanka to work with a couple different groups of village entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And alumni are invited, community members are invited, and faculty from all over the world are invited. So travel is difficult for people. This is not an expensive trip to go on, believe it or not. But getting people to say, yeah, I'll go to Sri Lanka. I know nothing about it. Like, where is it?
And to do what?
Right. To engage with entrepreneurs who are doing the thing, right? I just got back from there. I went on a fact-finding mission. It was life-changing for me, and I kind of knew what I was getting into. So, it was cool. Think of it like a mission trip, but for entrepreneurship.
I get it. Yeah. I kind of am picturing that, but I'm going, I've had people tell me they were entrepreneurs before, and really it was like, well, you just mean you don't have a job and you know how to do something that you sometimes do to make money. You know what I mean? So I guess that realm, there's a really vast area. Yeah. The girl making earrings. Yeah. She's an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
But,
Yeah. So examples like we had, it was a husband and wife couple.
Where's Sri Lanka?
It's on the southern tip of, it's an island, the southern tip of India. Okay. So it's very different than India, actually.
A little bit.
Right. And it's not like a tiny little island. It's a big island.
Okay.
So,
and you went?
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was great. It was, like I said, life-changing. So, yeah.
And when you go there to work with them, what do you do? Are you helping them do stuff?
Yeah, so they have
learning.
Thank you for asking that question. So here in Decatur, there's a group called Founding Females. Get together at Cast Concepts and have conversations among women. What are we working on? How do we grow? How do we think about marketing channels? How do we have time for things? Right? How do we? So that conversation. Now imagine that.
Yeah.
In this tiny little village outside of Metale, where we had to hike from the road. We had to hike up into the forest and buy coffee plants, like not like a coffee plant, like a coffee plant and a cacao plant and a saffron tree. And we're walking past all of these things to a little house with a little, about this size, maybe about twice the size of this room. Bunch of founding women that are doing salons, sewing things, making baskets and hats and out of palm fronds, drying these saffron and selling them out. Right, so they're doing all of this in very sustainable ways. And the challenge that they have, same thing, is what about growth? How do we balance time? How do we do X, Y, and Z? Same conversations, different context. Yeah. So, and they're not talking about AI, but they have access to it, right? So that's kind of a thing that might help them. I don't know yet. But what they're really concerned with is they're making a hat, say, out of, right? They're beautiful hats. And they sell it to somebody who sells it to somebody who sells it to somebody who sells it to somebody who you finally can buy the hat on the beach in Gaul, right? And in the meantime, they got 15 cents for that hat.
Right. And I paid 50 for it at the beach.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so how do we reduce the number of hands that it touches so that it's a more equitable process for them.
Yeah.
And also they can make things that don't have to get sold on the beaches of Gaul. They can sell things that are sold. They can make things that are sold here or in the UK or in other places.
Can they do that?
They can. And so, but at the same time, they believe in sustainability, and they also don't have FedEx and DHL in the middle of the right for us. So
fair enough.
But yeah, it's like, how do we take? They were like, can we get direct to customer? And I'm like, you may be able to, but maybe let's get our students and our community members who want to come brainstorm with you how, instead of 5, parts of the value chain, how can you maybe reduce 2 of them out and get a little bit closer so that you can now say, instead of 15 cents, I want to make $2 for this hat.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll be working with them on. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Right. When you started talking, telling that story, and you said something about, making hats or making whatever, I'm going, wait a minute. Every vacation I've ever been on, those are straight entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether they're selling bracelets or hat, they do it all day, every day, and sometimes feed their families off of it.
Absolutely. Send their kids to college off that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. So what, your thing was just, I feel like I can help them? I mean, you're obviously going to help them, right? You're not going over there to... Right. I don't know what you could come back have learned other than just life. Right?
Yeah. So,
the outreach is to reach out and help the people over there be able to do things a little bit better.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
It's social entrepreneurship,
and
right?
Is it all women thing?
No, it's really not. So that's just one example.
Okay.
That's the other one. It's actually, the other one is not in the forest. It's more on think of it more like a rice paddy kind of, much flatter. But from one site to the next, one guy had this machine, very old looking machine, almost like cranking machine type of, but it was powered with gas and crunching up coconut shells. And that eventually then he waters them down and then he dries them out and then he puts them in these bags, and he literally is making I don't even know if he's making money by doing this. Because it's we're trying to crunch the numbers. There was a couple of us there and we're like, we don't see how he's making any money. By the time he's paying for the gas, by the time he's buying the coconut shells, by the time he's doing, it's like,
you ate lunch and broke even.
Yeah, whoa. And trying to sustain. He doesn't have a family. He can't afford a family, but of course he'd love to have a family, right? So it's
you're going, how can we make this?
How can we help with this, right? And so he's got one buyer, and it's like, well, competition helps with that, right? So there's let's kind of figure this out a little bit. So that's one example. Not sure how he's making any money. To a sustainable paper making company that controls the whole value chain for them, right?
Okay.
So this guy was just making the product, the hardcore product, and then it gets put into all these other different kind of things. This company, they even had a PowerPoint, which is like, whoa, hey, there you go. But they know where to get it's basically weeds that they're using, right, to make paper. And they do all of the boiling, all of the, processing, everything there in-house, all the way through printing it onto the paper itself.
Okay.
So they're making it into bags and different kind of things. So they have the whole value chain, and their goal is, we want to break into the UK market. So they had this 3-year marketing plan, and they're like, here's where we're at into it, but we need help with this year 2. And I'm like, my students could certainly jump right in and help with that. They were going to be shocked at this one, right? At the coconut one, but they will figure out how to help with this one for sure. So it's exchange, right?
Are the people that you're going over there to help, are they like, hey, we are asking for your help?
Yes,
so
100%.
We're not here to argue with but you also have to know that you're leaving when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
You can't just give advice and go, okay, we're out. It's
Right,
like, well, that shit don't work, or we would have done it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So,
So you're bringing students over and going, let's get these minds to work. Let's come up with an idea. That's really cool. Man.
And the students' lives will be changed from it too, right?
For sure.
So a lot of the excuses of, well, I can't do that. It's like, you saw him do that. With
That's
a lot
amazing.
Less.
That's going to be cool.
So yeah.
That's going to be a cool trip.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So yes.
And how many, or you don't know how many people you'll take because you don't know how many people will go.
That's right. So, I mean, I would love to have 12 people total, and I think that that's very doable. But
when is it?
It is March 14th through the 22nd of next year. So it's spring break.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what, you're just 12 kids? That'd be easy, right?
Well, it's a little more difficult for students, I think. Because of COVID, and this is, again, a new kind of thing. It's the new normal that I kind of came back to Milliken with. It's very difficult to get students to travel.
Because they're scared?
I think that's part of it. I think there's especially now, there's kind of a sense that, well, are we going to be accepted because we're Americans? Because America's not really looked at very favorably right now by a lot of people.
Right.
And my whole thing, when I hear that as an excuse, it's like, now is exactly the time when you need to be getting out and representing America well.
There you go, prove them.
This is exactly the time when you need to be doing something different than anybody else. Because when you come back and you are networking or you're trying to get that job, if you're able to say, this is something that I did, nobody else across the seat is going to be able to say that, right?
Put in your resume.
That's exactly right. So those are the things that we're trying to encourage our students to do, and Milliken's very good with that. So it's there. We encourage parents who might think, oh, I don't know if I want to send my child on that. Send them. Right. Send your child abroad in one of these kind of opportunities that you're
and to see how other places and people. Yeah. I know, like you referenced even like a missions trip or something like that. Like, yeah, you don't have to be a Bible thumper to get a lot out of one of those.
Right.
You know, it is like perspective is something that it's hard to get unless you can go get it.
That's right.
But yeah, how cool is that? Yeah. I can't imagine that you would have it'd be hard to get 12 people, but maybe.
I'm getting really good feedback from some of the social media stuff that I'm putting out there about it. You know, here's some of the images and things and the examples of what we're doing. That I'm pretty confident about. We also have two other programs, one on arts, creativity, and culinary arts. We're going to have that in Italy. And then mostly because that's my favorite place in the world.
I was going to say Italian
it's
food.
My favorite, right? Like
I want a chaperone.
Right? That's right. Sure. It also is open to everybody. So yes, so that one, and then we are planning this. We had to change the dates, and so I'm hoping it's going to work out. It's a teacher's immersion in Italy, and it, you know, these things always sound a little bit like a boondoggle, but here's why it's not. Italy is the home of Montessori. Also the home of Reggio Emilia, and teachers know what that is. It's a pedagogical model for younger kids. Now there's a new one called MOF, the MOF method. It actually heralded out of Finland, but Italy took it and said, oh, we can do this different thing with it. We can kind of change it a little bit. And now they're rapidly deploying it throughout Italy. And it's not just for little kids, it's all the way up through college. So it's a very different approach. And I want to take people there so we can get ahead of the curve on this. Decatur's got a lot of challenging things happening with education, no matter if it's public or private. And how can we do something really cool and innovative by following those who are doing some really cool stuff? So yeah,
I think that is really cool. So you've already been to the places that you're going.
Yes,
as part of the global.
What's
that word?
And Geo Group, global experiential.
A bit experiential.
Okay,
yeah. We'll go with Geo Group.
and Milliken, like it's the Sri Lanka thing started as a Geo Group thing, and then Milliken was happy to have the class.
Your feelers are the ones that will be able to bring that together a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs or aspiring ones. Or what's one mindset shift or habit that you'd recommend to someone that's just getting started?
Yeah.
Like if they knew.
Action over perfection. Yeah. Action over perfection. Because you don't really know what your market's going to respond to. So you don't want to put junk out there, right?
Yep.
But put your best foot forward, but know that you're going to have to shift and change it anyway. So I've got one of my sons, to reference my sons, one has to have things like 99% right before he'll do it. And the other one's like a 5%. Yeah, I can probably do it. Somewhere in the middle is probably a good place, right? Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. You're like, I know for sure the two you don't need. That's hilarious. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, but so I have talked to people before and that are like starting businesses or whatever, and I've like told my story of so when I started Aerial Elite Solutions, this was just a few years ago.
Yeah.
My problem that I had was I thought I had a perfect plan to where I didn't even really want input because it was a distraction.
Yeah.
And that was the worst.
Right.
I needed someone to tear my idea apart a little bit because I was like, I have it figured out.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if I had it figured out, then I would be willing to just say it,
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Is it's like, if you aren't sure or I guess to go into something going, yeah, but what about this? Not being 100% sure. That's part of success. There is no guarantee. There is no making a plan and it goes exactly according to the plan. It's not how life goes. You can't dictate.
Correct.
You can only dictate certain things, and they're usually in a contract.
That's right. That's right. And even that.
Even that is meant to be broken. Right. No, but yeah, that's cool. I just think, it was I was going, well, if I need someone else's input, that means I'm not tightened up on my end. And that wasn't, and this was just a couple of years ago. This isn't like when I was 20.
That's right. Yeah.
I just was like, I've been running this company and I've been doing well. I know what I'm doing. And it was like, could have saved myself 2 years of shit if I would have just sat down with a couple people in the industry. Yeah.
Can you please mansplain me on this?
Yeah, for sure, man. It was.
Help me out here.
And I'm sitting there going, I think I realized it as I was telling someone.
Right.
Hey, why don't you come sit down and talk to me and tell me about your idea? Let me pick it apart for you.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait, I didn't do that. What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Cool. Oh, that's why it took me 2 years to make any money. That's part of the deal.
It's a part of the deal. Yeah, part of the journey.
Yeah. So do your kids did they go to, what do they do?
Yeah.
Can I ask that?
Yeah, sure. My daughter went to Millikan and she's super creative. She's a great writer. She graduated. She worked for Millikan for a while. She's working for Consociate now.
Okay.
And then she also has her own side gig called Just My Typewriter, which is a old analog typewriters. And it's a poetry typewriter collab. So she goes to like farmers markets and takes her analog typewriters, has a couple poets that come along with her, and they do custom poetry right there.
Really?
Yeah. And then they also will do takeovers of like coffee shops and set up their typewriters, and people can pay just to come and like type a nice note to somebody on the typewriter, right?
That's
and
cool,
do the thing while they're having their coffee.
It's actually the typewriters that
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, and that's her creative outlet, and it's really cool. So, shout out to any of the coffee shops if you want a takeover by Just My Typewriter anywhere in Central Illinois. She goes anywhere. So,
Just My Typewriter. Is that obviously her website or Facebook page? Or whatever? Yeah. It's kind of a cool.
It's pretty cool.
Idea. Where'd she come up with that?
I don't know. I don't know, but she's just a creative.
Okay.
She's just beautiful that way.
So that's what that's born with an entrepreneurial mindset, right?
Yeah, sure.
I do get, I guess I don't disagree that you can learn it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially with like arts entrepreneurship, right? It comes from passion.
Right.
So we talk about, there's two approaches to entrepreneurship, like passion and talent, and then opportunity recognition, right? And they're both approaches. It's not the whole thing. Those who are passionate and talented need to understand where the opportunity is.
Right.
And those who come with opportunity, you have to learn how to appreciate passion and talent. You've got to own that at some point, because you're going to be up late at night figuring out like, how do I fix this thing?
Right.
You're not clocking out at 5:30.
Right.
So it's the two approaches, but you have to learn the opposite.
I feel like the other approach would have been better. Just have an opportunity.
Right.
Instead, it's like,
stop here.
I'm just going to go fishing. It's like, you want to find some water? Like, oh shit. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So, and then my boys, one is an architect student at the University of Illinois, starting senior year. And the other one is going to Ohio State. He lives in Columbus. He's got a different origin story because he left college for a bit, got a full-time, fell into this amazing full-time job with Walmart in asset protection here in town, transferred out to Columbus and loves it out there, loves working for Walmart, loves going to Ohio State. He loves
so he got to keep his gig and go out there. Asset protection is stopping people from stealing?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love his stories. His stories are amazing.
Same. Remember the Kroger that they tore down over there in Fairview Plaza?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm the West End, so I would go there.
Yeah.
And I would always see this dude in there that I knew from church.
Yeah.
I just knew his face from church. And every time I went in, it was one of them, I didn't really necessarily even want to talk to him.
Yeah.
So finally one day I'm like, dude, every time I'm in here, you're in here. And he's like, oh, no, shit. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then he catches me at church on Sunday. And he's like, hey, come here. Here's what I'm doing. And I'm like, well, you're not slick at all, dude. I see you every time. You're pacing the aisles with no cart. What are you doing? Do better. But I'm but I go, yeah, what is someone possibly stealing from the grocery store? And he's like, do you not recognize that third of a cart you had cost you $180?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, dude. I'm like, I need to wait in the parking lot to buy steaks. Fair enough. You with the baby stroller and no
right
baby.
There. That's right.
But yeah, he was like, dude, we'll catch people with thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, they said that's why it closed.
Yeah.
Said it was they were losing so much.
I'm not surprised because the margins are so little anyway. You can't afford to.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a different world too, dude. As far as that stuff's concerned. I was in CVS over by Milliken, and I was at the front counter, and I'm sitting there. The cashier looks over my shoulder because she's seen. I could tell she sees something. So I turn around and look, and a guy just sits there. He has a hat on, puts his hood up, grabs 2 bottles of Jack Daniels or Evan, whatever, square bottles of whiskey. Yeah. Literally just cuffs. They had the little caps on them. Cuffs it under his armpits. Looks right at us and walks out the door. It starts beeping, and I look at her. I go, She goes, we're not allowed to do anything.
Yeah, you can't touch them. You can't.
So I said, well, cancel my payment. And I grabbed my stuff. I'm like, I'm out. She's like,
wait a minute.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean?
Not that they can't prosecute.
Yeah. She's like, all we can do is turn in the tape. And I'm like, that is nuts.
Wild, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Not okay. Not okay things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, we don't need to even go down that conversation. But so do you think there's a miss, are high schools now?
Yeah.
Is it just the public schools that seem like something's just not right? Something's off.
I'm not an expert in
no, just opinion.
I think here's what I am surprised by. And this is, we just had our faculty meetings yesterday for the business school. There seems to be a disconnect. There's students that won't pick up the phone and call anybody, right? They're afraid to have any kind of interaction and conversation. I think that's maybe COVID, maybe just cell phone usage, right? It's easier just to, and quite frankly, there's even data to suggest that, how we hate talking to the robobot, the automated. Younger generations love the automated responses.
They hate talking to people.
They hate talking to people. So I think that's one of the things that's a phenomenon that we're experiencing. But then and And CEO is a great example of the opposite, right? They've been kind of trained and talked to here's how you actually talk with people. They're forced to do that. But there's other programs too, like Incubator EDU. That's not so much here locally. That's in the Chicago and some other areas. But any of these that have this entrepreneurial mindset or this kind of get out and do something. Right. It's not what you know, it's what you do that then builds what you know. So, there's that pedagogical model seems to work really well with students. So just like sports actually works really well with students because they're doing something, right? So I actually believe education is more muscular than it is cerebral. So
and I stand behind it, and I've had probably 3 or 4 people come in that without even any prompting, it's like, what do you look for in a young employee? And it's like collegiate athlete. Yeah. Delayed gratification, stick-to-itiveness.
They can deal with failure.
They know that you're not going to get results today from what you do today. Yeah. Just having that already embedded in you, most of them don't even know they have it.
Right.
Or we might have that because we were athletes and we were, you know what I mean? It just kind of gets molded in. Well, when I had the first person say that to me, I'm going, an athlete? You don't want someone smarter or whatever? It's like, no, that's beside the point.
Yeah. It would be interesting to do some studies, or maybe there are studies and I just don't know them. Like at what point so I'm also, again, a pragmatist. Right? Yeah. So at what point is it no longer worth the money that goes into developing a student athlete? Right. Before it's like no more, you spent all the money you're going to really be able to spend to get the most out of it. So I love that because some students are tied to the sport and it's really the skills. I don't know. There's a little bit of that I kind of question and I don't have the answer.
Yeah. So. Well, and there's a ton, compared to professional athletes, there are a lot of collegiate athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of D3. I think D3 is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Last one. So when you look at the impact you're making at Milliken now and everywhere, what do you hope is your lasting mark would be with students, the community, and even the field of entrepreneurship? Or is it like, I don't know, because I don't know where we're going to be next year. So, what is the changes that have happened even from 2013 when you decided this was going to be what you're doing, or what was that, to now as night and day, I'm sure.
Yeah. So my mission, if I have one, is really more for adults, I think. So it's the aha moment, is helping adults become kids again so that they can learn. Because I think as adults, we stop thinking that we're learning. We know all the answers. Okay. And we get into these patterns that don't allow us to feel joy again and to have those aha moments like, oh my God, I had no idea I could do that. Helping adults get into that mindset is kind of one of my superpowers. So that is, more of that.
That's really cool too. So is it something that you see in reference? Because I know you feel like you'll probably be able to learn forever. Yeah. So what is that? Just something you see people and go, that's the not content, not happy, not fulfilled because they just stopped and go, this is it?
Yeah, I think that's certainly part of it. Or it's even educators, right? There's like, here's the book, here's the thing, here's the thing. And so I think the more that we question how we do things, and it's a really deep kind of Sophoclean kind of thing, right? It's like, why are we doing it this way? Why does this happen this way? A lot of why. And so often it's for expediency's sake, right? Like, here's when our school hours are because this is when we want to be there, or this is when the bus company runs, or this is what. So it's all expediency, and it's not really an elegant solution. So I love helping people kind of pull that onion back or pull those curtains back a little bit and just, why are we doing this? Yeah, let's have some fun with this.
That's a really interesting take because everything we just call it, that's just this life schedule, right?
Yeah,
the one that we're not even responsible for, the other part. And it's like, well, no, somebody's responsible for all of it.
Yeah. So I don't know, like my big thing is I want to retire and live in Italy. And yes, part of it is just because I love Italy, but the other
part. Are you Italian?
I'm not even remotely, but it's expensive to go for a week. It's not, you get to reframe your life there, right? And it's cheaper for better things there. And that's kind of what.
You just like it.
It's great. It's a better quality of life. The food is better. You don't even have to worry about what you're eating, right? My whole thing is how much is coffee, right? Coffee here versus coffee there. Coffee there is better. No offense to anybody, but coffee there is better and cheaper. So I don't know. I feel like you can have a better quality of life there. You can have a better quality of life in Spain or Portugal. There's many different places where there's a better quality of life.
So you want to retire somewhere else?
Or work remotely. But I've got this really cool gig right now that I love here at Milliken. So, and I'm not going to leave my parents hanging, high and dry. So, but I know where my future is. I've got this imagination of it. So, and it's kind of turning things on its ear that most people wouldn't think.
How many times have you been over to Italy? It's like several? 9. Oh, you've been.
Yeah.
You loved it from the first time, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's good to have a plan.
Not sure how to get there yet,
No,
but
that's gonna work
see
out.
it, right? I see it. So
you've seen it 9 times. Well, I think what you're doing is awesome. You're an impressive person, man. I like your passion, and you're like a positive. I don't know. I find myself not being able to. I'm not negative, right? But
what a great not negative way to say
I'm not negative. I'm just not ever like, come on, And you seem like just on fire. Like it's just passionate or excited. Maybe
it's easier for me to be in that space because I've certainly been in the other, and it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
No, but you just expect, part of what I decided to do for a living is deal with the shit that goes wrong.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what's next.
Right.
And you seem like just more on fire to go, let's just keep building and keep going and figure it out. And that's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're doing it. Well, welcome back to Milliken.
Thank you.
And I really do appreciate you coming in and letting me get to know you and letting the listeners get to know you.
Absolutely. Stop by the Center for Entrepreneurship. Look into the classes that we're going, and we're taking people places. Engage with entrepreneurship in Decatur and Milliken. If
you want to go to Sri Lanka, you really mean that? If someone is out there that's like, oh, I could go.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to meet my mom. My mom's like, I'll teach them about Jesus.
Yeah.
You're like, well.
They are very reverent.
Yeah, they need some of that too.
Yeah, they're very reverent. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, I appreciate it. And so anything that you got going that you've talked about, I'll make sure I plug up. Just me and my typewriter. What was that? What was the typewriter?
Just my typewriter?
Just my typewriter. Yeah. I'll put that up there. Yeah, we'll put some links up there.
Rock on, for sure.
But well, congratulations on your success. You're killing it in the business world. Thanks. You're killing it as a mom, it sounds like. I mean, hey, having kids that are paying, tax-paying adults. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's great. Well, yeah, thanks for coming in. And you guys, thanks for joining me on this episode of Beyond Business. We'll catch you for another one in 5 days. Until then, be kind to one another.
Ciao.
Okay. Thank you. Sweet. Well, that was
cool.
That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me on that sit down. That was another great episode. Before I get you off this line right here, before you wrap it up, this podcast is brought to you by Aerial Elite Solutions, your Midwest leader in drone-based thermal inspections, aerial data collection, aerial imagery, whether it's solar fields, power lines, or construction projects, or just real estate shots, venue shots, fly-throughs. We do it all. And we provide high-quality imaging and data to keep your operations running smoothly. Visit flyaes.com to learn more. Midwest Lightning Rods, when it comes to protecting your home or your business from lightning strikes, trust the experts. They've got the installation and expertise to safeguard what matters most. Head over to lightningstrikes-weprotect.com for more details if you're interested in a residential lightning protection system. Book it before December 1st of this year, and you'll get 15% off if you tell them you heard this ad. Say, Beyond Business said 15% off if I book right now, and you're going to get it. I promise. This episode has been fueled by my friends at Best Friends Distillery, former guests of the show, They plug me with swag. They're bringing bottles in. Local woman-owned distillery. They're crafting vodka and rum that's on point. I've tried it, taste tested, Nick approved. Raise a glass to quality spirits made with passion. If you want to try their drink out, they have it at the liquor stores everywhere. They have it at bars everywhere. And if they don't have where you're at, tell them they need to get it. If you're in Decatur, if you're in any of the surrounding areas, check out, instead of grabbing a Tito's or grabbing a Bacardi, try to get that Best Friends rum or that Best Friends vodka. You won't be disappointed. Thank you. Cheers to supporting local. Thank you all for joining me. I'll catch you in another one in 5 days. Until then, be kind to each other. Thank you.
Yo, we on business. Yo, we out here hitting that grind. Podcast vibes letting loose, unwind. Nick's on the mic, yeah, he flexing with pride. Meeting dope souls, taking you on the ride. Talking about life, not just that paper. Doing it big, ain't no time for a hater. People yap behind his back, but we rise like the sun. Gather round fam, we just having some fun. Beyond business, it's a vibe, feel that thrill, getting intimate. May even get your heart filled. Meeting the legends, those raw and real. Digging deep thoughts, show you how to feel. From the block to the boardroom, we making that move. Beyond business, baby, yeah, we got the groove. Shout out to the hustlers, the real street thugs. We all eat together, no need for the drugs. Yeah, you blessed with the gift, determined to thrive. Nick's breaking it down, keeping that fire alive. Let's go deep like the ocean, no bluff. Beyond business, baby, we can't get enough.